let me lay a foundation that we are not preempting what the Supreme Court will do. So my comments are purely based on personal opinion. And I think that matter has really enriched democracy, because Alhaji Atiku has exercised his mandate to pursue some things that he considered relevant to him. And it is also a matter of fact that the Chicago State University confirmed that the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces actually graduated from the school. And the issue now are issues of forgery or whatever. And let me say this, that is why we have the judicial system. America has done what they could have done to assist Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And now is for Nigeria. And he has approached the Supreme Court, which, generally speaking, is not a court of evidence to say, now I have a fresh evidence I want to bring in, and it is at the discretion of the Supreme Court to decide whether to entertain it or not. And in law, if you look at Section 131 of the Evidence Act, it says that he who comes to the court, establishing some facts, it has the burden of proof. So, but I believe that Alhaji Atiku has a vibrant team of legal practitioners. So is the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So let's see if this fresh evidence will even be admissible to the Supreme Court, because the mandate of the Supreme Court at this point in time is to evaluate the decisions of the Presidential Election Tribunal at the appellate level and find out if the tribunal erred in law. And the tribunal read out the decisions of the tribunal for about 13 hours, stating critical issues for those who could go along. And some of us monitored keenly. And that brings me to another point, which is critical. The law is not about sensation. The law is not pedestrian. The law is not driven by media engagement. The law is about facts, issues, your evidence, and how you can marshal your case. And let me also bring in some precedents. I recall that in April 2019, Ademola Adeleke, the governor of Osun State now, was taken to the High Court based on his certificate that he could not contest. And the High Court upheld that. And he went to the Court of Appeal, and in May 2019, he was declared to be eligible to contest the election. He is the governor of Osun State as we speak. And that is when you talk about the laws of the land. So there are things we call allegations. But under the law, you are expected to prove these allegations beyond all reasonable doubt. You see? And again, let's talk about politics. I recall that must be like in 2019, thereabout, the Attorney General of the Federation came out to say that Atiku is not Nigerian by birth. So if some ran with that, he probably would not have been able to. But the matter went to court. Several allegations. Even the former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, had issues with these credentials. So let me now move us to our ground norm, the chief law we have in the land. If you look at Section 131 of the Nigerian Constitution of 1999 as amended, it says that a candidate shall be qualified to contest for the office of president if he is a citizen by birth, citizen of Nigeria by birth, if he is 35 years of age, under this not too young to run, if he is a member of a political party, he has been sponsored by that political party, and he has been educated to the level of school certificate or its equivalent. So I think we have a systemic issue we must work at. And let me say this to those whose perception is that, oh, we are embarrassing the nation. Yes, globally speaking, we need to refine our system. I am embarrassed, for instance, if we have an operational system that did not identify the citizenship of Atiku, and you are now coming back later because he wants to contest to say he is not a citizen of that. I'm disturbed with that system. That's what we call background check in human resources management. You know, all these things must be there. You must be able. We have nothing less than 40 law enforcement agencies in Nigeria, screening and everything. So we need to fine-tune all this so that we don't find ourselves jumping around for political reasons. You know, and we now find almost all the stakeholders embarrassing the nation. And I personally do not run with sensation. Towards the last election we had, we started reading Obi's company was shut down in the UK for some financial infractions. He was held down at the airport. You know, in fact, somebody wrote, how can someone who is the biggest importer be claiming he wants to develop industrialization in different kinds of things? So my position is that we have a judicial system. And if these matters have been referred to the Supreme Court at this point in time, which became the highest court in the land since 1963 when we became a republic, I want to wait and see how the Supreme Court will interpret this. But some basic facts have been established that the president attended Chicago State University. He graduated from there. Because my mind started running wild that, okay, how did this man work with mobile? How did he work here? And so let's even, let's assume, and the wise man says that assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. Let's assume that he doesn't have certificate. Then how did he become governor of Lagos State? How did he go to the House of Senate? So we need to engage.
Because even the issue of stolen identity, that, you know, somebody bearing, a female bearing Bola Tinubu, it also begs the question of how he could have even evaded the needed checks at the university, the Chicago State University in question. You know, these and so many other allegations that, you know, have arisen so far.
I think I mentioned that partly. Now, what started trending is that Alhaji Atiku sat for his school certificate examination with the name, is this Siddiq or something? So you just find these things going around. So I don't want political considerations to take control of critical issues. I am on the side of the law. If anyone has erred in law, let the consequences be borne. That is what you call the rule of law. But then, when allegations are made, please establish the allegations. Right. If not, somebody can walk up to me in the future and say, I do not know the color of the gate of St. Patrick's College that I attended.
All right, Mr. Ologun, let's put you on hold.